Hi, so I'm Phil Johnson. I'm a head of software engineering, and I've been making a few videos about the habits that I've found really useful in this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey. So we're on to the 6th habit now, and I'm just talking a little bit about the takeaways that I've had from them. Habit 6 is the third and final of the interdependent habits. Covey talked about the first 3 habits being the private habits. So those are the habits that get you to dependency. In software engineering terms, we might class that as a maker. So that's your kind of, your juniors and then your mid-level software engineers. They can own things, they can take things away, they can work on them independently, they can work as part of a team, but they're ultimately picking up tasks and delivering on those tasks. From there, you go on to your 3 public habits, and this is the third and final of those public habits, and that gets you to interdependency. So in terms of software engineering, this is your multipliers. Your makers are the people who work on things. They're quite independent, they can work on things and deliver on them. Your multipliers are the people who bring together the makers. They bring together the team, they bring together the different skill sets, they influence the team to really deliver something bigger than each individual part could do. So what Covey talks about with synergy is it's more than just splitting things up. So it's not about taking something big and splitting it into 2 parts and giving one part to one person, the other part to another, and you end up with 1 + 1 = 2. It's done in half the time, but it's the same output, it's the same method of getting there. You're not improving things. Whereas what Covey describes as synergy is where you bring the strengths of the team together and the team really works together well, and rather than 1 + 1 = 2, you end up with 1 + 1 = 3 or 4 or 6. It kind of becomes exponential to what the team can deliver when they're working together in a synergistic way. So what Covey says is synergy is something that you know when it happens. So we've worked on teams. I've certainly worked on software engineering teams where it feels like there's a real shared sense of purpose. Everyone's pulling together, everyone's working towards the same goal, and really identifying where they can help and push things on, and where there might be somebody else on the team with a really good strength that they can work together with, or can pick a certain aspect of it up to really push it along and help to deliver it faster or better, or in a way that's never been done before by the team or the organization. So Covey says when it's happening, but synergy isn't something that you can initiate. So this is where it's a bit different as well from the other habits that we've talked about, because all of the other habits are things that you can consciously work on, whereas Covey says there's nothing with synergy that you can do to initiate it. So you start a project, you can't say, all right, we'll do this one in a synergistic way, and here is how we do it. He says that people who've worked together synergistically on other projects will probably have more success of getting synergy on future projects. But what he says is, although we can't initiate it, we can create a culture that does help and encourage it to grow. So in modern terms, a culture of psychological safety, rewarding teams' output rather than individual output. Things like that can create a culture that helps it to grow and evolve and helps people on teams to work together synergistically. Covey really says is once you see it start happening, you should really champion it, really highlight any instances of where it's happening and really encourage it, So that's synergy, the 6th habit, and it brings us to the end of the main habits, I guess, the private victories that bring you to independency, and the public victories that bring us to interdependency. So that's it for today's session on synergy. Hopefully it's been useful for you. Follow me for our next session, which will be my takeaways from the 7th habit, which is sharpening the saw. Bit of a favourite of mine, so catch up on the next video for that. And in the meantime, have a good week.